Hello, good evening, and hopefully welcome to Garblag Games. My screen is still not got a picture on it, but there it is. Yes, always impressive. My wonderful warm-ups to the game.
Mhm.
I know we've got Aaron with us today, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's not in chat. He's got a face."
He does exist.
So yes, hi, welcome to Garblag Games. We're going to be playing Spire, which is a fantastic game by Rowan Rook and Descartes. And we've been in touch with the lovely folks over there, and they're going to send us some PDFs for next week. So there will be a giveaway next week. This week, the plan is to do some character creation, backgroundy goodness, talk a little bit about the setting and where we're going to be located, and then get some sort of world building ideas and tips from the players for what they want to do. Also, folks in chat, no, Pat has had a haircut. People have noticed the sides.
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted for a second there. Yeah, I got it redone. Check out this fresh dude.
Very cool indeed.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
without the top bit.
Yeah, I think nobody commented on Ben shaving yesterday. I think
Yeah,
we all noticed.
The sides of my head too.
Yeah.
we didn't mention it because we're just so jealous of how.
Of course, yeah.
Everybody just assumed that I was cosplaying as my traveler character. Anyway, so we're going to be playing Spire, but before we do, the usual garblaggy goodness. Please check us out on all of our various social medias. We've got evil robots posting stuff in chat right now, starting with shout out to Pat for her fabulous Patreon for her lovely artwork.
Mm-hmm.
That's going on. We're in the last 48 hours now for Pat and I's Kickstarter, Descendants of Darkness. We're fully funded and we're just looking for stretch goals just now. Pat's very keen about the second stretch goal.
It means I get more money.
I will give Pat more money.
I love this crew.
So
please help fund me.
Yeah, if you want to help fund Pat, then
I want to be an artist.
I want to be an artist when I grow up. And we've got loads of stuff going on. We've got a Discord with lots of chat and conversations. We've got Patreon going on. Patreon's just been recently revamped and refurbished and improved. You now get more for less. Oh, God, there goes Nye. His internet's exploded again.
Oh, no.
So, yes, we've just got a newly updated Patreon. No, wrong side, that side. There's where I need to be. So come along and check us out on there. Okay, cool. Don't worry, I'm still here. Yes, so we're going to be playing Bedlam Hill, which is a little story for Spire that we're going to develop some of shortly. Now, it's a lovely, lovely setting. Normally, I don't like Drow. This is a documented fact in Garblagia, but the way they've dealt with the Drow in this setting is fantastic. They've totally flipped the whole Drow dynamic on its head, and the Drow are the oppressed minority or majority, I suppose, under oppressive high elf rule. So let me tell you a little bit about Spire and the world of Spire. So magic is hard. You want to do any magic, it's going to cost you something. It wears out your body, your mind, and sometimes other things too. Church magic is more reliable, but less powerful. Magic items are very rare. There's stuff, but you're lucky if you've got stuff that works, let alone magic stuff. There is no wilderness here. The only wilderness is the city itself, a mile-high, towering city shooting straight up out of the desert. There is no morality system, which is a good job because everybody's going to have to do some morally questionable things on their way to seeking redemption/freedom. There are no monsters. Well, there are monsters, but they're not monsters where you like kick in the door to their house and nick their treasure. The monsters are the friends we made along the way in this case. Spire is a mile-high, impossible city older than anyone can remember. 200 years ago, the High Elves, or Elfir, strange and beautiful masked creatures from the far north, took it from the Dark Elves after a brutal and bloody war. Now they graciously allow Dark Elves, or Drow, to live in the city if they perform 4 years of service to an Elfir lord once they come of age. From Spire, the Elfir continue their conquests down to the south and are caught up in a bloody struggle with the hyena-faced gnolls of Far Nujab that they fight with armies of ingenious human mercenaries. So straight away, there are sort of 4 dominant cultures in the world that we're looking at. Player characters are Drow, but they may also encounter the High Elves, the Elfir. They may also encounter the occasional Gnoll, because there are some of those in Spire, and there are the humans, short-lived but technologically adept species that have managed to work out how to reverse engineer ancient technology found in the cities and arcologies of the lost world to reverse engineer things like working guns and big taser rifles and cool stuff like that. So this is a kind of electro mana steam diesel punk spectacular where you have machinery that works, but nobody's entirely sure how it works. And some of it is it works through the sacrifice of people to the machine. So there's a lot of playing on sort of industrial era kind of downtrodden populace. So there's strong overtones of Victorian development and growth that pop up in this as a series. Set, as I say, in the world of Spire, in the city of Spire, which shoots up out of the desert for a mile high. It's not a regular city because there's a hole in reality underneath it. And some genius decided that the best way to get around was to punch a hole in that hole in reality and drive a train through it. So throughout the Spire, there is a network of disused train tunnels and transit systems called the Vermissian that you can't use because spending too long there drives you mad. But it's there anyway, and it's bleeding unreality into the city. So weirdness abounds non-stop in Spire. And that's where we're starting. Everything is very weird. Brace yourselves, it gets weirder. So players have all got, oh no, they haven't, because I still need to assign some of their character sheets. So just finishing off assigning character sheets now. Here we go. That's Pat done, Nye done, and Aaron done. So everybody's got a character sheet now. We have 2 other players who were unable to be with us for illness and dog reasons this week, but they're going to be joining us next week. We've got Aldoon, who's one of our regulars that you might know from many, many other Garblagian shows. And Francita, who's a game dev from South America, who's worked on iHunt and is a first-time Garblagger, but we're really looking forward to having her on the stream. It's very exciting. New faces.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody's been allocated over a character sheet. And if you take a look at that, you can see that on the character sheets, there are a number of skills, domains, and advances. Oh, that's interesting. Where's the space for stress? Oh, there it is. Right, there we go. So if you click on the stress button, you can add slots to different kinds of stress. Stress is the measure of success and failure on dice rolls, Inspire. And when you take stress, you take it to a resource. Everything on here counts as resource. So there are 6 resources, well, 5 resources and armor, really. Blood is the resource that represents your sort of physical health. Mind is your mental health. Silver is your financial stability and well-being. Shadow is how well known you are, or indeed aren't, which is kind of what you want if you've got a high shadow, is to not be well known. And reputation, which is a measure of how well known you are because you do want to be well known. So shadow and reputation, kind of opposites, but still both very useful. When you try and take any kind of action of significance, you're rolling against your resistances in the hope that you will succeed and not take damage to them. So if you take damage to, for instance, your silver, your resources get tied up, tangled up, cost you money. It's difficult to use them. If your reputation takes a hit, then you get a bad name. If your shadow takes a hit, then you also get a bad name, but it's a bad name because your name is noticed. So we got some fairly straightforward bits there. Then on the profile section of your character sheet, there's a set of skills, domains, refreshers, equipment, and bonds, as well as advances. I did a lot of talking. It's just me going babble, babble, babble.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's important to kind of cover these things because, like,
yeah, I just want to get everybody on the same
yeah.
page at the start so we all know what's whatting. Some people
'cause
have
like-
read it, some people haven't. And I know not
Mhm.
everybody in the Twitch stream will have seen or read it.
Mhm.
It's a fantastic game, and I strongly recommend it
Yeah.
without any kind of duress because it's such a fabulous setting. So the idea behind the game is that, yes, you are downtrodden drow, but you're also filthy revolutionaries. So it's got almost, if you're familiar with the old game of Paranoia, where you play a bunch of mutant hunters who are secretly all mutants and a bunch of communists who are all supposed to be communist hunters. Everybody's a commie mutant traitor. So there's a little bit of that sort of vibe going on in Spire as well. The Elfir, the High Elves, have totally come to dominate the city of Spire. They decide what's allowed to be watched, what's allowed to be read, who's allowed to carry weapons, what religions are allowed to be followed. They've graciously, in their kindness, allowed the Drow to keep one of their triple goddesses, the peaceful goddess of the moon. And they've banned the worship of the other two Drow goddesses who kind of cover revenge and more revenge.
Yes.
That's got a thing for the Drow.
I wonder why.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Player characters are all revolutionaries in service to an organization called the Ministry, which doesn't exist. Everybody is encouraged to worship our glorious lady, the goddess of the moon, but in the back alleys and the safe houses and the speakeasies of the Drow, they also worship our hidden mistress. Pat, it's like they wrote this game for you.
Pretty much, yeah. I was just thinking that.
I'm already.
She who
seeing
fills
what
them
I'm
with
like.
strength to resist their oppressors. She's a goddess of poison, lies, shadows, and secrets.
All the
I
fun
need to
stuff.
fuck
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. All the fun stuff that the Alfir don't want us to be doing.
Yeah. And there's a
No.
secret society that follows and worships her called the Ministry of Our Hidden Mistress, or the Ministry for short. And basically everybody who's a player character in Spire has been recruited into the Ministry. So you start off as a wanted criminal. You can't tell people you're in the Ministry. Telling people that
Nope.
is a bad idea because your own family will sell you
Yeah.
to the police because it's worth it for the reward. The aim of the game is subvert, don't destroy. It's not about killing the monsters and smashing stuff up. It's about turning the systems against themselves. It's not a kind world. There are soft and gentle parts. You don't live in them. You are brave. Not merit brave. You're brave because you're taking fantastic, stupid, life-altering chances that will probably get you killed and or mutilated. You are going to hurt people. Your goal is to free the city from the High Elves, but you can't do it in a glorious, bloodless revolution in a night of peaceful singing and chanting. People can get hurt. This is going to kill you. One of the important drivers in Spire is the idea that you don't do it to survive. The aim of the game is not to live, it's to make a difference. And if you die making a difference, you've still won. There is always another level. So early on in the game, you'll be fighting to take back a street, a building, a block of flats. As you get more powerful and gain more resources, you might be pushing to take back a district or a level of the Spire and try and subvert Drow, or get the whole of the police in a district to back out of it and take control of protecting it yourselves. But there's always a bigger fish, and there's always something nastier higher up. Your own family would sell you out because ministers get people killed, and you're a minister. The ministry would sell you out. Sure, you're an asset, but assets are only useful as long as they can be expended. Should you become a risky asset, you will be disposed of, either as a trap or as a way to divert attention away from something else. Okay, any questions?
Nope.
You? Everybody okay?
Let's dive in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Right, so
Very nice
there is one
balance.
core mechanic, and you roll a d10. So it's literally roll a d10. You get more d10s depending on your stats.
Yes.
If you roll a 1, it's a critical failure. You take double stress. If you roll 2 to 5, it's a failure and you take stress. Stress is the damage to all of your different stats. 6 to 7 is success at a cost. 8 or 9 is a full success. And 10 is a critical success where you inflict stress on other people for each of those. If you take sufficient stress, you will suffer a thing called fallout. Fallout is injuries. So those of you who are familiar with our Alien games, of which there are 3, and you should watch them because they're cool.
Okay.
And if you finish watching all of those, you can go over to Diesel Shop and watch all of Pat's.
We have a lot. You don't want to tell them to do that. They'll be stuck. We played
I was
Alien
explaining
all
to
summer
someone
long.
today that they
Like,
just
so-
started watching LV832, and we're talking about my character from there, Engels. I said, oh, Engels was just my chest burster version. Wait until you meet Kuznetsov.
Yes.
The singing Russian captain.
Exactly.
That was a blast to watch.
So there is fallout: minor, moderate, and severe. Minor fallout is small injuries, getting knocked out, slight breakages, things that are an annoyance. Moderate fallout is nasty injuries that make a mess. Things that can also include things like humiliation, public humiliation,
Yeah.
because that's a fallout that you can take to your reputation. And severe fallout is you might wish you were dead, but we're not going to let you, kind of things.
It depends on what you're taking the stress in.
It does,
Because
yes.
if you take stress in blood, it's like, and it's severe, it's like, yeah, you're
gonna die.
you're
Yeah,
gonna
so
die.
some examples, using blood as the example. Minor fallout for blood would be bleeding. Until you get medical care, you take 1 extra stress against blood every time you roll the dice. A moderate fallout for blood would be a broken arm. Your arm is broken, you cannot use that arm for whatever you would normally use it for. And then severe fallout for blood would be you pass out and awaken in a half-dream state before your god.
Yep.
You can strike a bargain with them for your life. You're
Yep.
still going to die, but you'll die in service.
Pretty much, yeah. It's
It's
you don't
not
want
a linear
you don't want
scale.
severe.
It's a logarithmic scale.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not always clear cut. Like, so for example, obviously if you get punched or shot at or kicked, then it's damage to your blood. But at least the ways that I've played
Unless
it.
you're a popular singer and somebody punches you,
Exactly.
and it doesn't do
yeah.
much damage, but it breaks
But
your
you're-
nose, and then you can't sing properly.
Or
So
people
you
think
might
you're
take
a wuss
physical
for getting
damage,
punched.
but then take
Yeah.
reputation stress.
Exactly. And that applies to all of them. Like, the stress can be determined. It obviously has to be like realistic. It's like, I think my mind was shattered when I lost all my money gambling. Oh, I guess your mind would be shattered. Oh, well, there we go. See?
Okay,
It's
let's
so
start making
flexible.
some characters then.
Yes.
So the first thing you need to do is decide on your durance. Now, durance is it's not slavery. Of course, it's not slavery. How could you even suggest such a thing? It's an indenture of gratitude that your people pay to the high elves, where you serve them as soon as you come of age for a minimum term of 4 years. And the form you serve them in varies from person to person. So everybody gets to choose the durance for their character. Their character wouldn't get to choose it, but you do, because it's one of the first things that shapes you. So the possible durances available to you are Acolyte, which is serving as a sort of religious assistant to the High Elf Church. Agent, you are a connection between a High Elf Master and the underworld. Builder, you built things because you were told to. Dealer, so trading. Duelist, you were either a gladiator or someone's paid champion. Enlisted, you were a grunt in the army. Guard, so you stood around their house and protected them. Human emissary. Elfir don't like to deal with the lower races, so you were used to deal with them on their behalf. Hunter, hunting wild beasts around the tower or around the outskirts of the tower. Information broker, it's a spy, basically. Although there's a spy separately. Information broker is more fixer, connections. Killer, that's a nice subtle one, isn't it? Your master said, go kill that person, so you did. Laborer, another does what it says on the tin one. Occultist, so doing magic for them. Personal assistant. Pet, you were pretty or well-liked, so you were used as like a status symbol or toy.
Yes.
Sage, librarian, bookkeeper. And spy, which is, spying.
Yeah. Basically, Drow do 99.9% of the work that a normal society would do, and the Alfir somehow
go to parties, have ice baths, and wear masks all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, it's not great. It's really not good.
You know what this reminds me of? Doro Hedoro on Netflix.
Oh shit! Yes, I do know.
Kind of got the similar vibe.
The lizard head guy.
The lizard head guy. Yeah.
Yeah, where like the hole, which is where like all the humans live, they do all the work, and then up top the magicians kind of have like their magical fun times.
Yeah, it's like a sort of Victorian dystopia in many ways.
We're basically peasants, like medieval peasants, where it's like, oh no, we don't own you. I mean, you need us to work on our land, and we're not going to pay you, but we don't own you. You can leave if you want, and that's kind of
the
thing
worst
with
part of it is that you might not be peasants. You might have been the nobles 200 years ago.
True, that's very true.
Treated like peasants by the high elves because you're a lower life form.
Yeah.
And of course, you better be wrapped up pretty tight if you decide to leave the Spire, because the sun is going to burn you to a crisp.
Yes, that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Drow suffer from a thing called the curse, where if they go out in sunlight, they start taking damage, and even particularly bright lights of other kinds can hurt them.
Oh well, there we go.
Pat's safe.
Pat solved it. Yeah.
Aviators.
Boom. They've not been invented yet. We've got guns.
If you don't want
machinery
to undertake a durance, you can either hide out in low society, lead a doomed uprising, fight to protect your community, join a cult, lived on the streets, been a thief, been in jail, hidden in plain sight, or you could have been a revolutionary from childhood.
And if I'm remembering correctly, because it was a while that I played, the durances give us a resistance and a skill. Yeah,
a resistance and a skill, or two skills, or two resistances.
Oh, well, there we go.
They do vary, yeah.
And it's pretty standard stuff, like, oh, I was a laborer, so I have like blood
and the resist skill.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I worked in the fields and I worked in the factories, so I've kind of built up that physical stature, if you will, or whatever.
Yeah, so if you want to build it around stats, then you can absolutely do. No, I'm not saying that as a criticism. Yeah. If you want to build it around having specific stats that you see your character developing into the future, you can do that. And you can say, well, what would give me the best blood stress or the skill of investigate or something like that, and we can look at what those are. Or you can pick endurance and then see what comes with that.
Well, that's the benefit, because when we get into the classes, what really works in its favor is that the classes, at least the way they're framed in the book, don't really. So it's like, oh, I'm a firebrand. There's no background that would be like, oh, you can't be a firebrand from this background. That would be insane. It makes it quite clear. It's like, oh no, you couldn't have gone in any direction from any background. So like,
and it's a
good
part
thing about
of
it.
developing your character is how you get from one stage to the next. So
Exactly.
how did you go from being a pet to being a revolutionary leader? Because that's quite a big jump, whereas it might be a much smaller jump to go from being an emissary to being a revolutionary leader. But that doesn't mean that either one of those is the right way to do it.
Or more superior or inferior or anything. Exactly.
No, you've got experience.
Yes.
So do you have a preference that you want to go for?
I don't know. Last time I played a laborer who was a firebrand. So I was very tough, but I was really rubbish in social situations as a result. I believe Auden said that he was going to want to do, I think, just
he said he fancied doing something with the Vermisian.
Yes. So I think I'll return to big, stocky kind of character, but I will not be a laborer. Can I be an enlisted? If I remember correctly, that has blood, does it?
And
plus
blood
2
and fight.
blood and the fight skill.
Well, there we go. Yes. And
so to fill that in, on your stress, you add
plus 2
to blood.
And
so everybody's got
fight.
1 dot in all of their slots, and you can add 2 dots to blood. Aaron, you've read the books, so you probably also have a rough idea.
Yes, I think since Nye is going with enlisted, that I will go with duelist. I was an Elfir House's judicial champion, for want of a better word.
Fantastic. Well, it doesn't give you any resistances, but it gives you compel and commerce.
Yes.
No, that's dealer, not duelist.
No,
fight and high society is what I meant.
I was going to quickly ask.
So high society is a domain rather than
because I was
a skill.
Yeah. So the domains, the way they, I mean, at the end of the day, mechanically, it's just add an extra D10 if this is applicable. But like skills are what you're doing, and then the domain is the setting you're doing it within. So it might be if you're like fighting.
But for example, if you're fighting on the streets in Derelictus, you won't get the benefit of being a high society
because
fighter.
It's not,
because you'll flick your hanky at someone and say, "I challenge you, sir." Yes. And they'll punch you in the gut with their keys in their hand.
And equally, if you're trying to deal with like a more highbrow situation, you're trying to compel somebody. Maybe you're good at compel, but you're only good in a low society or crime fashion. So you're like, hey, what are you easy for? And they're looking like, good sir, what are you talking about? This is a high society establishment. We will not have this riffraff here.
So you get high society and fight. Pat, what are your thoughts?
Can you hit me up later? I'm actually looking through the PDF right now to see.
Yeah, sure.
What interests me.
Do we want to do? Oh, actually, I guess it's actually, since I've gone for enlisted, have you talked about? I know we're going to talk about in the world building, but our favorite one. I was hoping we can go back to Agar because there are gnolls in this game. No, of course not. But. And they don't like gnolls either. I think the Alfir don't like anyone.
The Alfir don't like anyone.
No.
They don't even like each other all that much.
No.
They're narcissists, solipsists, sociopaths.
Basically, yeah. And they hate everybody.
It's an entire species of Lovecraft.
Yeah, actually, it's a pretty good way of summarizing it. I mean, I guess you guys make all right work, but you're really pieces of shit. It's like, well, we don't care.
Okay, so we've got a duelist and an enlisted person. Character classes. Now, these don't work like most games that you might be familiar with, in that the character classes are all very much unique to the setting. So there is the Azurites, traders and deal makers, but it's an almost holy calling for them. So they believe in the holy power of cash. There's the Bound, which is like Batman meets Rogue Trooper. They have tiny spirits bound into their knives, their ropes, their hip flasks.
Oh God, I've not thought of rogue trooper in forever.
There's the Carrion priests, who are followers of a heretical sect of death worshippers with pet hyenas.
Nice.
And they like to eat the dead.
Yeah.
Firebrands, who are the sort of glorious, up the revolution, pal.
Yeah, it's the guy you've got in your background.
Types, yes. This is a firebrand.
Indeed.
There's the idols, pop sensations, actors, actresses, media darlings, the beautiful people. People do what they want them to do because they ask them to do it. There's the knights. Now, knights sound like they make total perfect sense, but the knights have kind of fallen on hard times. They might have once been noble orders of knights, but they now kind of keep the peace around the docks, and their knightly orders have become pubs. So they're basically heavily armed thugs. They're the only people who are allowed to carry large weapons. They're heavily armed and armored thugs who hang out in bars, drink heavily, and beat people up for money. So if you come up with a knight, you're also coming up with a knightly order, which will be named after a tavern.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Lejan, which are the clerics of the moon goddess, the priests and healers of the Drow. The masked, who were so good at being servants that they've learned how to make the mask work for them. So they use the fact that the Elfir wear masks to sneak about places. They're like, books and stuff and know loads of things. So that's the character classes.
Yes.
All right. So I've never played this before. Which of the servitudes best works its way into being a midwife? I think it's obvious that's what I'm going to aim for.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Almost any of them can work.
Yeah. If I remember
Thinking
correctly,
sage or-
do you want to be a stabby midwife, or do you want to be a sort of cuddly midwife?
Because it goes into like the classic like RPG roles. If it's like, are you punchy, are you talky, are you sneaky?
I mean, I feel like she's gonna be more talky anyway, because I like talky characters. But
Pet, dealer, agent,
I saw
spy.
pet and I'm like, oh,
these
that's
are all good
interesting.
talky ones.
I think probably agent or spy. Keep forgetting what the difference is.
Okay, so agent gets you shadow and crime, and spy gets you sneak and deceit.
Spies
go
would
with
be
spy.
spies are like proper, like we keep tabs on the other people that live within it, and then like agents, like we keep an eye on the Drow specifically. Like
You are adept
think
at lying,
spies-
cheating,
yeah.
and moving unseen. Okay, so you get to tick the deceive box and
like-
sneak box.
it's like MI5, MI6. There we go.
At least the analysts from them.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you want to go midwife.
Yeah, I think I've.
Who could have guessed?
Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed that Spider Queen Long wants to be a Spider Queen lady?
Well, yeah. I mean, that was the pitch that Pat was given. So Pat,
I'm pretty sure like this whole Spire thing was just because like I'm playing on your show now, and you're like, oh, Spider Queen Long's here. Let's do the thing where she gets to be a spider lady.
Well, Pat, there are spider and it's like I'm in. It's like, wow, we didn't finish the sentence. I'm in. Let's do it.
Not the typecast.
Okay, so Pat,
Of course not.
you get blood +2 on your stress, reputation +1, and mind +1.
Okay. All right. Where are these on my?
So if you
Stress,
click on
okay.
stress and then go to the add button,
The top right
Yep,
corner.
blood
blood
+1. So,
+2, reputation +1, mind +1. And then you come back to your profile page and you get the skills fix and fight.
What were the ones that I got earlier? Deceive and
sneak.
Sneak? Yeah, okay.
So you get fix and fight. And then the domains that you get are occult and low society.
Hell yeah. I'm loving this character already.
I do like the notion. It's like, yes, I look after the children, so I have low society.
Well, that's because the Drow are low society.
No, I know.
So if you're trying to sneak around in a rough area, you're already rolling your base D10 plus 1 D10 for your low society, plus 1 D10 for your sneak, and only counting the best one of the 3. So that's good. Your refresh, which goes in the little box there, is defend the defenseless.
Refresh. Okay. Oh yeah.
So you can refresh some of your stress by helping people who can't help themselves.
Cool.
You get to choose, well, you get for free in equipment, ceremonial silk robes. Gorgeous, long, red, crimson silk robes with this high collar and this enormous hood.
They stain very easily.
And then you can choose either twin razors or a weighted chain.
Weighted chain's kind of like weighted chain.
Yeah, it's a chain with a big heavy weight on the end, and you swing it around and hit people with it.
Ooh, and twin razors is kind of like the whole
snick. It's
Drizzt and dual wielding.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the chain. I feel like that would be interesting. I've never gone with the chain.
I'm just gonna give you a shave. Oh, no. My neck, no.
All right.
Okay. Right. You have 1 street level bond to the Order of Midwives. That means that you have a connection to the whole Order of Midwives throughout the whole of Spire as a member. You get to name your immediate superior who doesn't know you work for the ministry and 1 colleague who does. Now we'll come back and look at names in a minute.
Yeah.
And you also get a bond to 1 other player character whose life you saved when no one else would. And you get to pick which one and what they did that got them in trouble.
Oh my God, that power. I mean, after you had toilet paper stuck on your shoe. Oh no, please, that can't be the reason why. Yeah, that's the reason why that is
ostracized from community now. I think it's better toilet paper on the shoe.
Marvelous.
And then you get 2 core abilities. Crikey, so much power.
Yeah, I know. I'm dying of it.
So this goes in advances. You get 1 core ability called Martyr. 1 called Protector's Eye. And I'll go in and I'll put some of the details in on this later. But Martyr means that when an ally takes fallout, you can appear nearby and take it instead.
Nice.
And Protector's Eye, you can ask what a particular NPC wishes to protect above all else.
Ooh.
And then you get to choose 1 other advantage from this list.
Okay, I did finally find my page in the PDF. So
that is a terrifying skill. I know exactly what you wish to protect most in this world, and I shall take it from you unless you give me what I want.
Holy shit.
I know about the puppy you just bought. Oh, what? Yes. No.
Her name is Frodo. That's a shitty name, Frodo.
You just go, it's a shit name for a dog. No.
So yeah, power-wise, you can fix people and stuff. You can secrete webs. You can turn your hands into claws like a spider. There's lots of spider-based powers. Are you looking at the...
I'll go through these.
You're Spider-Woman.
Maybe off stream.
Well, while you're having a look at those, let's jump across and we'll go back to Aaron. So, Aaron, we've got your duelist.
I'm going to change duelist because I've got an idea for my player bond. So I'm going to change to enlisted, like Nye.
Okay,
because we serve together.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm going to go enlisted carrion priest.
Ooh.
Nice.
With my big hyena.
Yeah, you're getting a hyena for free.
And I think that my bond with Nye, as far as saving him from death, we were fighting down in the canyons in New Job, and we had an incompetent company commander who led us into an ambush and then fled with most of the company. And Nye and I were in the same squad. And our fire team was trapped in this box canyon by overwhelming Gnoll forces. And we ended up, with blades broken. We were fighting, literally tearing throats out with our teeth, fighting with our fingernails. When the sinkhole opened in the floor of the box canyon, and we tumbled down into it, covered in dead bodies, the dead of the Gnoll, the dead of the human mercenaries, the dead of our own squad. And down into this sinkhole, this Gnoll's hyena comes. And I thought I was dead. I thought Nye was dead, and he's next to me, and I'm holding on to him. And this hyena comes at us, and it had already scratched my face. Face is just laid open with gore and blood. And it comes at us. And in my last moment of defiance, I punch it right in the muzzle. And at that point, I become chosen of Charnel, that willingness to fight to the very last moment of death. And the hyena licks my face, and the wounds start to heal up. And I pull Nye with me out of this charnel pit covered in gore and blood with this hyena at our side. And as we walk out of this box canyon, the Gnoll forces just part in front of us, like water parting against a rock, as we slowly make our way back to the front lines, where our cowardly company commander is at, who we stalk, the three of us. The hyena, who is now my constant companion, Nye and I, stalk this company commander down and tear his throat out in front of the men. And at that point, we get indoctrinated into the Special Tactics Corp, and that's how we finish out our Durance. But I saved Nye's life by pulling him out of that pit.
Awesome.
That is so cool.
Holy shit!
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Fuck yeah!
I'm just sitting there like, that's awesome.
It's good to be bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's fucking awesome. Oh my god. Yes.
Fantastic. Oh my word. Wow. So pulling no punches, Aaron swings into Garblag, kicks the door down and goes, check out my character background, bitches. Before machine gunning his phone number into the wall and flying out with everybody's girlfriends.
Good times. So with my second pip in fight, I think my mastery is going to be up close and deadly combat with my hyena. So when my hyena and I engage in melee combat against a target, we fight with mastery together. But
Aaron Exec has just said, Aaron's getting a reroll from me as soon as the game starts, just for that story.
Groovy.
Great.
Awesome. So cool.
Nice, I like it. So you got this sort of close-up dirty fighting with an ecking great hyena.
Exactly. And this my hyena is a little unusual. He's a spotted hyena, but instead of just his muzzle being black, his whole head and the back ruff of his coat is black before it goes into that normal tawny spotted pattern.
Cool. Yeah, so your hyena looks kind of chosen as well.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Are you going for the war cleaver and
Yep.
prey hook, or the crossbow and knife?
It's war cleaver and prey hook all the way, because you got to cut throats, and that's the way
These
I
are
do
not
it.
subtle weapons, are they?
Not subtle at all.
Excellent. Nye.
Yes.
Top
I see that. I can't. I just can't. I'm thinking part of me wants to do a firebrand again because I did have a lot of fun with them, but another part of me is like, But after that story, I kind of feel like I have to go firebrand because it's like that's just so fucking awesome.
You don't have to go
Yeah.
firebrand. Try something
No,
different. Go for it.
I don't know. Well, what are is there any other like fighty ones?
Yeah, there's the
that are
knight.
not-
Nice.
Knights
And
are-
knights get to have
yeah,
like
there
two-handed
is.
swords.
Yes, there is knights. All right, yeah, I'll go for a knight then. I don't know much about them outside of the.
They're
stuff that
kind
you
of funny,
described at the beginning.
actually.
With
But
the
they're
knight of
also
the boozy table.
they're rock hard. They're an ancient order of knights who were given the right to police the North River docks of Spire, but
Okay.
they've become like corrupt, heavily armed gangsters who organize fighting tournaments.
Okay.
So as a knight, you get blood +1, silver +2, and reputation +1.
Okay, yoke. Right, I'll add them now actually. Blood +1, silver +4, and a silver +2, and then rep. Yeah, that's it. Rep. It was silver
This will
2,
fit
wasn't
in
it?
with what Aaron's just said as well, then, because your refresh is engage in reckless excess. Could be food, could be
Yeah.
booze, could be company, could be fighting.
Awesome. Yes. Okay, that's awesome. Then. Yeah, I'll go with knight. That sounds fun. Okay.
You get to be the one that shouts Kazook now.
Yes.
No dwarfs in this game.
All right, so that gets you fight and compel as skills.
Okay. So now my fight would be with 2, wouldn't it? Because I already
That
got
gives you
fight
a mastery, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to take that in. What are the weapons I get? And then I guess I'll go for whatever fits
Great
into that.
sword and pistol, or lance.
Oh, I really want to go sword and pistol, but lance sounds kind of funny. I just like the idea of a guy like about 5-10 feet away, like he can't get me from here, and I whip the lance. Fuck. Actually, yeah, now me saying that I want a lance.
Amazing.
Okay, yeah, a lance. Yes.
Do you know what the qualities are on a lance?
What?
D6, piercing,
Right.
surprising. Exactly what you were saying. Nobody expects to be lanced.
Nobody
just
expects the Spanish Inqua lancing.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Right, I'll add that to my thing. How does mastery work again? Sorry. In terms of like
You get a knack. So if you've got 2 pips in it, there's like a subsect of whatever that skill is or whatever that domain is that you get a special ability in. So,
okay.
but it's not like the whole thing. Not like you get an extra dice every time you fight, but it would just be you get an extra dice
if it's under the specific circumstances. Okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So, you could have a knack in unexpected lancing. Where, if you're in a field of battle and people are expecting you to have a lance, you don't get that mastery. But if you just happen to be walking around the docks and someone starts on you and you lance them, you get your mastery.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah, I love that now.
So you get an individual level bond with your squire.
I've got
Oh, shit, you've got Squire?
You have a
I
squire.
have a
Oh my
Squire.
god.
Oh yes.
You get to name them and say whether they're
Aaron's got a hyena,
idealistic
you've
or
got a
cynical
squire.
about the whole thing.
Yes. Okay.
And you
All
have
right,
a
I'll have
bond
to
with
think about
another
that.
PC who you used to go drinking with and sometimes still do. Describe the wildest thing you two got up to on one of your legendary nights out.
Oh,
Shit.
okay.
I feel like we're missing out on like two other
Yeah,
players.
so we can always
Like,
hold off on some of the bonds.
Yeah,
stuff.
I think I'd like to hold off because I want to see what everyone else would be doing.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I can't imagine my character is that much of a raucous drinker. Although, like, she probably would enjoy drinking every now and then, but she's got to take care of the babiys.
Yeah, I kind of see your character being the sort of, we're going out raucous drinking and you're the one just sat there at the table just shotting vodka and ignoring what else is going on. And everybody's like, how much has she had to drink? Does she know she's supposed to be unconscious by now?
No.
I show up in fucking Shadow Weaver garb, and I'm just like, another
Live on stream, ladies and gentlemen. Okay,
now I don't have any more
abilities
sparkling
then,
water
Nye.
to mix with my vodka.
Pub crawler.
Okay. Yeah, I'm loving this with each sentence. Pub
Once
crawler.
per game, name a nearby bar, pub, or inn where you know the landlord. Whether they like you or not is up to the GM.
Oh yes.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Pick a fight. Once per session,
Yeah,
ask the GM
please
who
have
the best
exception.
person in the area to pick a fight with is. If you either want to win, make a good impression, or cause a distraction.
This is
Excellent.
spectacular.
And you get law of the docks. You're allowed to carry your lance without getting in trouble.
Oh, okay, awesome. I
Using
like
it
that.
is another matter.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
And I'll need you to name your order as well,
Ooh, okay.
which is basically a pub name.
I think Ben knows what I'm gonna say. I don't want to say it now because it's really silly.
It's not a bath, it's a bar.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, so I can't be the order of the rubber ducky. No, I can't. Okay, that's fine.
I would prefer
okay.
you not. If you are dead
Yes,
set on it,
yes.
I won't stop you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
What
I'll
about
have
the
to think of
latex
an,
goose?
That's a completely different
that's a
scene.
different, yeah. I'll have a think about it. I'll probably when we're doing the world building, I'll ask for like names.
Yeah,
and
no
stuff,
worries.
And if there's like a pub.
And then advances, you can choose carouse, jousting, braggadocio, knight admiral.
What? What?
Knight admiral's brilliant. Your order bestows upon you a rowboat.
Oh, I am in charge of the mighty Drow Navy. We have 8 rowboats.
And we're all
God.
in a city.
Yeah. I
Bulwark,
have my
knights. Oh,
Squire
I didn't do your kit.
rowing onward. And
You
I've got a
also
voice
get
for
quarter
them.
plate,
Oh, okay, cool.
which is
Oh, shit.
armor 3 heavy.
Fucking hell. Okay.
Yeah, you're wearing plate armor.
Fucking pink.
Wow. Okay, wow, that's awesome.
Oh,
Hey, Shadow Friend.
now Nick Zecker says knights that say nigh.
Yes.
Awesome.
We got all the jokes here.
Exactly. Oh, what are my domains?
Oh, your domains are low society and crime.
Okay. Society and crime.
That sums it up.
Yeah. I'm loving this character so much now. Oh yes. I really want the rowboat as well now if I can get that as an advancement.
You can. That means that you're a knight admiral as your advance. You get +2 reputation.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you get to pick one of these additions to your rowboat. One of it's fast, it looks good, it has a swivel gun, or it doesn't leak much.
I really want a swivel gun. This is gun robot diplomacy.
Oh my god.
Right, that's D6 ranged reload
Awesome.
on your swivel gun.
Oh, this is gonna be so fun.
I need to get a Shadow Weaver cosplay for my character.
Oh my god. Okay. Awesome.
Okay, well, that's the lion's share of character creation done, except for those advances. Now, I had a question in chat a minute ago about how advances work. Basically, there are 3 levels of advance. You start off with low advances. Now, a low advance you get by making a small change in the world. So that's sort of every maybe 2 to 3 sessions, you can expect to pick up a low advance if you've done something useful during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Low advances are sort of entry level powers and abilities, although that's an entry level power right there, having your rowboat.
Exactly.
Being able to turn your hands into spider claws.
Yeah.
I think I'm going with Web of the Mistress, by the way.
Yeah, good choice.
I've got a couple martial characters on my side. I think something that lets me see the interior of a building would be lit.
What are you thinking, Aaron, for your low advance?
I'm going to take, you get 2, right?
Did you get 2? Oh, I misread something. I thought you only got 1.
Oh,
I've been wrong in the past. It's happened before. We don't talk about it.
I want to be an admiral and something else dumb. I love this game. So
Jokes, abilities, notes, bonds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, two low abilities.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's page 25. You get 2 low abilities to start.
Yes, it's true. You do 2 low abilities. So there you go.
So I took, for my low abilities, I took new tricks for my hyena. So I pick up the compel skill and it learns 2 new tricks. So that's the 4 tricks of my hyena are Sick'em, Guard, which reduces blood damage to me by 1 in an encounter, Fetch, which allows me to hunt essentially or pursue with mastery, and then Growl, which lets me compel or intimidate with mastery if I order him to. And then my second advance, I took the enlisted extra advance of martial training, which gives me the 2nd pip in fight and gives me a Legrand rifle, which is of course horribly illegal, but effective at range.
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay.
Amazing. Okay, I already know what I'm going with for my second one then, if I'm allowed to take 2.
Yeah.
So my first one, obviously, I went with Web of the Mistress. Strands of silver magic extend from your fingertips, and you sense the vibrations caused by any intruders, which of course is super vibey, super fun, and very useful. I think for my second one, though, I'm going to go with something a little more my speed. Pluck the web. You bind up tiny effigies of your foes with glistening silk and force them to act upon each other.
Nice. A spell to make 2 things
exactly
act upon one another in whatever way. Oh, the GM sees fit.
Up to you. Mm-hmm.
I like the. I mean, I would like a second one, but I also love the idea. I love the idea of like I have a squire, I have a rowboat. I'm wondering what else I can get.
Right. So carouse. You get extra blood, and you gain a bond on anyone you get drunk with.
I presume there's a time limit though, because that would get insane quickly.
Yeah, just for that night.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I end up with an army after.
Here's what you might like:
crawl.
Jouster. You are adept at running hard into dangerous situations. Gain the pursue skill, and when you charge in recklessly, your attacks have the brutal tag.
Oh yes. I'm the head of the cavalry and the admiralty. Where are your horses? I am the horse.
Braggadocio. Deceive skill, and you automatically convince someone you can achieve something, whether or not you can do it. You convince someone you can. You might not be
Yeah.
able to,
Yeah.
but some other idiot
Okay.
thinks you can.
Okay, interesting.
Bulwark, you and your armor share a special bond. You look after it, it looks after you. Once per session, clear all stress marked to your armor. Remember, you've got 3
That's
to add
nice.
to your armor.
Yes, I've already added that, but that is actually quite good as well. These are
Night
all so
Protector,
fun.
you can throw yourself into danger to save your friends. So the same as that core ability that Pat has.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Can you stack
That makes sense.
Of course, that it also could potentially be reckless behavior, which might allow you to refresh.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes.
When you have a crowd watching you, your attacks do brutal. And when you fight in front of a crowd, refresh.
Okay, interesting.
Nice.
I think I'll go with the take stress for allies, because I feel like while I am going to be incredibly outlandish and boisterous and all these they are my friends, they are my family. I want to keep them safe.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's
So,
called Night Protector is that
okay,
advance
I'll
then.
pop.
So yeah, the
Yes.
way advances work, you can build up low advances by making small changes around Spire. So inspiring someone to do the right thing, pushing some dodgy folk out of an area and making it safe for the people that live there, subverting a policeman who works for the Elfir. Small changes get you a low advance. So you can expect to get one every sort of 2 to 3 sessions approximately. The next step up from that is a medium advance. Now you get a medium advance when you make a notable change in Spire. So they tend to come at the end of a sequence of adventures. So Garblag style, that would be like at the end of a season.
Okay.
You might get a medium
Awesome.
advance. Medium advances are significantly more powerful than low ones. And then major advances, which is the top level of advances, they're bonkers powerful, and you get them when you make a large and notable change to the way things in Spire work. So, for example, Nye's Knight, the high advances are all just insane. Fortress Plate, pull the sword from the stone, slay the dragon, and seek the grail.
I'm loving it. I love it.
My high powers are so fun, but I'll never see them.
I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? This might get super popular.
Who
So if you want
knows?
to see us become gods, all I remember is when I played the Firebrand, they have one called I Am Legion, which I did see. And it's properly like I can just become a swarm, a crowd
you just
of
kind
people,
of dissolve into hundreds of people.
And it's like
form
Viva
of,
Revolution.
Form of Ishkra.
Amazing.
I thought you might
Form
be
of
looking at that
Ishkra,
one.
so good. You unbind your body's bones and reform them painfully into the form of a great and terrible half spider, half drow.
Hopefully it's you get the drow part as the top half and the spider
One
part as
would
the bottom
help.
half, because
One would help.
it would really suck if you're a giant spider but you've got tiny little drow legs. Well, I guess you'd have arms. Yeah, I guess it would be just a bit like actually probably more terrifying.
Yeah, no, I'll just take whatever comes, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll be terrifying
Or
either way,
you're like Hel from Norse mythology, so like half spider one side, normal drow.
Oh my god, wait.
It would make eating a bit of a bitch though as well, just like
Oh no, because you got that whole side of your face to then just push the food in.
I guess, yeah.
You can eat from one side or the other, but not both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think spiders do a lot of eating. It's mostly drinking.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I
you're
was
right.
thinking.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, that's what the venomous mandibles, which come from a medium power.
Yeah.
I want some of the medium powers too. I think we have to play this game.
Summon sweetlings. You're bothering me.
God,
you're now covered in spiders and they're tying you up. Also, you're scared.
Good shit.
Okay, so that's our 3 basic characters. Now, naming conventions in Spire are just kind of hog wild. they range from sort of descriptive names like Moon Hunts the Street through to generic fantasy sounding names. So you can kind of go where you want to go in terms of names. So let me look up some example names. So Broken Hand, Last, Miriam, Kaelston, Loathe, Drend, Kurt, Anna, Cho. Just, if you can think of it, it's there. Just not Bob. I really like the tradition of having, I think the traditionalist Drow names are the sort of 3-part hyphenated descriptive names. I really like that model. But if you want to go for a sort of shorter name or a nickname kind of thing, those two are also fine.
Okay, let me think.
I think my Carrion Priest is going to be named Samedi. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah. Oh, I think.
And his hyena's name is Ged.
Is there a page in the book that covers names?
No, not specifically. The
All right.
names are all sort of scattered throughout the districts of Spire section.
So when you say traditional Drow names, are we talking like Drizzt Duerden, 3 syllables?
Well, no, like
some apostrophes?
so like punches at night and
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Oh yeah, no, I like that. I like that.
sleeps with the gutters.
I think
It would be sort of
that's
English
actually-
translations of what the Drow dialect name would be.
Yeah.
No, I fuck with that. I fuck with that. That's the same kind of naming convention I go with.
Well,
for
because
the
there are humans around us, we like say it in human tongue so that they feel included.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know now. Is there what could I have as a pub name? Because maybe that'll kind of like spark.
Well, no, as a
my
knight,
naming.
you're entirely likely to go by a nickname, like a short,
Yeah,
thuggish.
like the brave, the foolish, the
No, I was thinking more like
incompetent.
Baz or Dave. Or
Oh, okay. I'll go for that. Yeah.
that sort of really simple, short name that says, watch out or Big Daz is going to have you.
Okay, yeah. No.
I mean, you might also be called Moonlight Treads on Snow.
Yeah,
If anybody ever calls you that, they get lanced.
yeah, exactly.
Speed
Okay.
from you running along your boat.
I mean, I have the admiral and the cavalry. Have you, good sir?
I've got my name.
Barry, I guess, is a good it's Barry. That was a terrible accent.
Don't be Barry.
Okay, I will be. I don't know. I'm not good with
Barry.
names.
I mean, I love the sort of tautology that you've got there of this sort of 7-foot tall Drow killing machine in full plate armor. And when he opens his mouth, he's like, "Hi, I'm Barry." You have your Squire speak for you a lot of the time because you know you've got a bit of a silly voice when you talk yourself. Nudge your
Squire's
Squire
like-
forward and he's like, "Baz will have you if you look at us funny." You're like, "Yeah, that's right, I will."
Squire's like fucking 5 foot nothing, and it's short and lithe
Permanent
as fuck.
scowl.
Permanent scowl. Deepest voice ever.
Oh, I don't know. No, I think I'll just go for I pass. I'll come up with a name in a minute.
Well, we need a
think,
pub
yeah.
then. So
Yeah.
pick a verb. Or should we throw it out? I know what we'll do. We'll throw it out to chat.
Oh
So
no.
chat, if you want to name the pub that Nye works out of, not in, we're looking for a colour, a verb, and an animal. And we'll pick some combination of them. So
The
get
drunken
suggesting,
swallow.
throw it in there. I can see that Aaron and Pat are both already going for it. Like, I'm putting an answer in.
I'm going for it. God damn, of course I am.
So if you wanted to make him work out of a bar called the Taupe Aubergine.
I can't see any of this because I don't have Twitch open. So
You're going to want to
surprised.
start thinking now, because at the minute you're working out of the pink gopher.
I knew
animal,
people were
and
going to put pink.
Like a verb,
verb.
a color, and an animal.
Verb,
Yeah.
color, animal. Got it.
The
slinging purple hedgehog.
At least I put one in that wasn't horrible.
Yeah, black devil dog. But no, feel free to pick one bit from any one of these. The lavender crooning scorpion.
Wow.
That's a mouthful. You're not going to be able to say that when you're drunk. I was drinking at the lavender. Oh, man. Scorpion sounds.
You'd
Okay.
call it the
The
lavy,
lavender
though,
crooning
wouldn't you?
scorpion.
I was drinking in the lavy,
The labby, yeah.
which is a slang term for lavatory.
Yes. The
Okay, well, we're getting a load of suggestions now. So, lazy mole, pink beaver's lair,
Ooh, yes.
the red sleeping worm, the thirsty grey squirrel, the pink
I'm starting to
penguin,
see a trend here. Oh, the pink penguin. There we go.
I think
a
pink is the common
seven-legged
denominator.
spider. Somebody wants a fight.
I quite like the I actually do quite like the lazy mole, like, or maybe change mole for a different animal. But I like that idea, the lazy and then something else. I don't know.
Okay, well,
Lazy
animal-wise, we've got
lavender.
gophers, dogs, hedgehogs, scorpions, beavers, worms, squirrels, penguins, spiders,
The
geese.
the lazy dog.
A lazy
I don't know.
dog.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect, because that means that your rivals would be from the quick brown fox.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
I love it.
I like the idea that like our rivals are like witty and like good at like parlance, and we're just like, well, you're stupid. Fuck you.
All right, so your order is the order of the lazy dog.
Yes, I'm very happy now. Okay. Well, then could I be Rex then?
Yeah.
There we go. I'm
Amazing.
Rex.
You kind of need an adjective to go with it, don't you? Are you big Rex? Are you slow Rex? Are you pointy Rex? Oh, you're Admiral Rex, aren't you?
Admiral Rex, yeah. Oh wait, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, Admiral Rex. I'm an admiral. Awesome. Admiral Rex.
Marvelous.
Yes.
Now, Aaron, you have a street level bond with the faithful of Charnel, a collection of worshippers who live in New Heaven. Name 3 of them and what's weird about them.
Okay. Babako, who is a member of the Morticians Guild and works as an executioner for them, but he's become disenfranchised with the normal cult's ways of disposing of bodies and has fallen in with Charnel. And he eats the eyes of those he executes because he believes that's the windows to the soul. So that's how he takes their powers in.
Makes perfect sense.
See, Moragana, who is a megacorvid breeder, and she, her brother was shot out of the sky by an Aelfir, so she looked for a way to try to find meaning to his death and found the cult, and because of her background as a megacorvid breeder, she refuses to say goodbye, and anytime anyone leaves her presence, she covers her eyes with her hands so she cannot see them depart. And then finally,
that's awesome.
We forgot to mention the megacorvids. There's so much in Spire that there's always something new to find out. So they breed these giant crows and ravens, both for carrying messages and for flying between different levels of the city. You can ride a megacorvid.
They're big birds, big birds. And then my final street level bond is actually with an Aelfir named Walker and Dis, who is a skald and had to go south to fight in New John, and it so damaged his psyche that when he returned to the Spire, he became disgusted with all of the high elves' beliefs. He still wears his mask in public because he doesn't want to be seen out by the other high elves, but he has fallen into worship of Charnel. And the weird thing about him is for each person he kills or each creature he kills, he sketches their face out and then has a tattoo of the death mask of their face tattooed on his body somewhere. So his body is covered with these small death masks.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Nice.
That's fucking impressive.
And a fallen Elfir as well. They're
That's
always
so
handy
cool.
to have.
Oh, God.
Okay, who's next?
Oh, by the way, I did come up with my character's name. She's going to be Weaves Like Harp.
And we've all just seen why it is that Pat so often wears white, clean clothing.
We're not talking about what happened just now. we do not.
But the
see.
one time you don't wear latex.
I know, right? The one fucking time. It's all right though. It's warm where I live right now. It's a nice day. I can take being wet.
Yeah, all right. You and Aaron both rubbing it in. Nye's in Scotland. Have you no sympathy?
Oh, look at all
mean-
this glorious sunshine.
I literally, when we're done here, may go into my backyard and jump into my pool for a swim.
Oh
I'm just
shit!
saying.
Nice. It's not that warm here, but it's not miserable.
Nye'll have to go to the outside toilet and crack the ice in the toilet.
What?
That's not fair. Some houses in Scotland do have indoor plumbing, don't they?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. We just got televisions, and we're very impressed.
Do you have a
So
license?
Nye,
for
you've
those?
got your bonds, haven't you? You've got your Squire.
Yes, I have my Squire.
So you need to name your Squire
Yes,
and
Percival.
whether they're idealistic or cynical.
See, I'm split, but I think cynical is going to be funnier because I'm going to be like this. Yes, onwards to battle, and they're like, "Oh, he's going to get us killed. He's going to get us killed."
I'm totally down with Percival, but could you spell it wrong and put an apostrophe in?
Yes. Oh, I thought you were going to say I like. Yes, come on, Percy. It's Percival, but yes.
No. Stick with it. But I like it when we do that Drow thing and we fantasy naming conventions. Throw an apostrophe in.
Or
Mhm.
I'll put
A couple
between
Z's.
The...
Isn't that right,
apostrophe
Catherine?
Do you want me to put it between the P and the E? I don't really know how apostrophe.
No, put it after the R. PER apostrophe
Okay.
Cival.
Okie doke.
And
Very
then
cool.
Pat, your bonds. So you need your immediate supervisor.
Mhm.
Now, I'm going to swap these around actually. So your immediate superior does know you work for the ministry because she's going to be the one that recruited the whole group.
Shit, nice. Okay.
And a colleague who doesn't know that you work for the ministry and from whom you're keeping it.
All right. So, do we have? Are you gonna ask me to come up with names for
Yes, I am.
the supervisor? All right. Cool. Stop me if you don't want to accept this as canon, but let me see. She of Long Legs, Mistress She of Long Legs.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right. And for the supervisor, and for my my colleague, with whom I share much but not all. Let's see. I'm gonna go with another Drow name because I feel like the midwives probably mostly use their Drow names, and
Yeah.
they're well. I mean, I
Well, they
don't
are
know.
kind of guardians of tradition, aren't they?
Exactly right. They're the bulwarks of our traditional culture. so we probably want to use our Drow names there. So let's see.
Oh shit! I need to make a knack for my fighting, don't I?
Drinks of Life
Nice.
for
Awesome.
for my colleague with whom I. Yeah. So Drinks is
A little bit more militant than you,
yeah, probably.
but less militant because she's not.
Right,
Yeah,
because she's
in the
not
ministry.
in the ministry.
She
Yeah.
she complains a lot, but
She
she doesn't-
talks a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that she talks a lot about joining the ministry, or you know, she doesn't actually say that, but like, you know, she talks a big game about being a revolutionary or something, and she's like, this shit's so awful, and I'm just like, yeah, I know,
Like,
right?
yeah.
It's
Whatever.
Well, I could
terrible.
find-
Well, look at what the Elfir do to us, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Somebody should do something about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Or
I agree.
you do that thing where it's like, so did you hear about the
What do I say
ministry
anything?
liberating? Like, you know, why do you keep bringing it up? I don't know, like they seem cool. I just like, you know, it's
Like
whatever.
Flash Thompson in Spider-Man 2. Huge Spider-Man fan, real dick to Peter Parker.
Oh,
No, that's cool. Because basically what I want the connection
actually,
between
believe
the
it or
whole
not, I have
party.
not seen any of the new Spider-Man movies.
Okay. What I want the connection between the whole
Sorry.
party to be is that everybody comes from the same crash originally. So you're all little teeny weeny Drow together.
Nice.
So you were born and you did your little toddlery thing and you potted around, and everybody has fond memories of Mistress She of the Long Legs.
Mhm.
And then you went off to your families once you were of an age that you could communicate and not pee yourselves anymore. And then you had your Durance, and then she sort of called you all back together for this kindergarten reunion thing, but has only called a small number of you and had been like, right, I'm recruiting you all into the ministry. Shut up and do it.
I like it.
yeah,
Excellent.
that's awesome. Yeah.
So that's
I think
like
I'll
one
choose
overarching
PCSA.
connection for everybody. But
Mhm.
Pat, you're kind of like a protege to her,
Well, shit. I hope I live up.
hence the bond.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then that's your bonds sorted. Now, you took the enlisted extra advance.
Yes.
But there's no extra bonds or anything that come with that. Okay, fantastic.
And so the name that I was given by Charnel when I walked out of the pit, he whispered in my ears that I would be called Samedi. But my original Drow name, which only the people from our original crash, this crew, would know and remember, is Night's Whispered Sorrow.
Nice. That's very Drow.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
But he doesn't. Only the few people in our cell could call him that, and he would answer to it. But everybody else knows him as Samedi.
I like the idea that it's like, as we're getting named, it's like the midwife gets to my dumpy bum sitting there like, it's like, you're a Rex. Yep, you're not a, yep, you're just Rex. Yay!
Okay, now I'm going to be using the area of Red Row, which is a subpart of Derelictus,
Yes.
which is kind of the poorest, roughest, shittest, most run-down part of Spire. It's the place where the poor look down on themselves because there's no one left to look down on. There are people below them in the area of Derelictus. So if you're on Roll20, you can see the map of Spire.
Mhm.
It's not on the Twitch stream today, but we will throw it up on our Discord so that people can sort of get an idea of it. So down at the bottom end of Spire is the poor area. It's quite a lot like, and I get the feeling that it might be ever so slightly based on, Victorian era East End of London. So it's cramped, dirty quarters. Everybody's living close together, stacked on top of one another. Landlords are assholes. Nobody can afford to get a house because they're having to pay too much money to these rich landlords. They're a step above the cannibals and derelicts who live just below them. There are markets where you can get anything, but nothing particularly valuable. There are clubs and secret societies and churches and cults popping up left, right, and center. And I want to focus in on a particular part of Red Row called Bedlam Hill. And the dominating feature of Bedlam Hill is a hospital set up by the Alfir to care for Drow who are mentally ill. Now, it is little more than a prison. Some would say closer to being a torture chamber. And what I want to do is I want to base it around there. So that's not necessarily going to feature in every single episode, but it will be like there in the background, kind of dominating this scenario. And so it's this big hospital for dealing with wayward Drow or Drow that have gone insane. And that's the Elfir distinction of what insane is. So people that disagree with them, things like that. They're rumored to be re-educating revolutionaries within. Nobody knows what goes on inside. It's a horrible place. And the area around it is going to be filled with screams at night from tortured patients. But at the same time, you've got loads of people living rough on the streets around it. You've got these little lean-to semi-shelters that people have thrown up because they can't afford to live inside a house. Streets will be muddy and dirty, but there will be constant bustle. It will be active all hours of the day and night. And there will also be, theatres and shows and shops and people trying to live their best life while it's going on, but also quite a heavy police presence, stomping heavy-footed around the area, brushing up against the knights and their rights. A lot of the knights are based in the layer above, which is called St. Perdita's Circle, and is where the North Docks are. But the knights do stretch down into Derelictus as well. So there's going to be a bit of that. What I want to know from yourselves is whether or not there's any particular little bits that you want to throw in or that you particularly want to see or do or experience in this kind of steamy, diesel, punky, dystopian, Victorian Drow nightmare.
Ben, I think you know what I'm going to ask. Are there waterways?
Amazing.
So that the Admiral may...
The Admiral will have at least one chance to sail boldly up a waterway of some kind. It will happen.
I just like the idea that they have... Because, using water to transport heavy goods is, a kind of a standard thing. So I like the idea. It's yes, let us transport this barge. Wait, what's in the distance? We are coming to slay you, evildoers! Percival, row harder. It's him trying to row.
Your boat can seat 6.
Yes.
As long as they're all rowing.
Exactly. That's it. Row. I have the gun in position. Yes. Percival.
Is there supposed to be water at the bottom of this thing?
It's a design feature. It makes it go faster.
I can't swim.
It's a feature,
Neither
not
can
a flaw.
No sailor in the lazy dog's fleet should be able to swim.
Sailors that can swim might be inclined to abandon ship.
You're already fucked.
You're already planning cowardice. We won't have any of you swimmers in our fleet.
I don't know. I feel like Longlegs is the kind of midwife that would do the parental thing of are you ready to swim? No. Right, you ready to swim? Ah!
Yeah, I agree. Harsh love. come from a brutal society.
Anything
Just
you
kinda
want to
teach them how get
see
into
thrown
the,
in?
way
Yeah, I'm totally down with like
of the
underground
world.
clubs and smoky
Honestly,
meeting rooms and things like that. Oh,
this is my first time playing Spire. I'm kind of here for the ride.
okay.
I
Aaron?
think that his parents.
I think I'm down for whatever.
I think his parents were addicted and both died from drugs that were being peddled out of Threadneedle Square. And so I think one of the things outside or maybe within the ministry that he's always trying to do is find a way to disrupt the Three Sisters drug trade in Red Row, wherever he gets an opportunity to do that. So he hunts down these pushers who are pushing these drugs on these young drow as part of his hunt for Charnel, and will frequently try to take them out, which may cause complications for his ministry cell because it may draw a little bit too much attention to him. But I think that he despises the Three Sisters in Threadneedle.
Okay, yeah, that works. Threadneedle is very much based on a real street in London. Threadneedle Street. Looks like Pat's having some internet connecty problems.
Okay. That's all right. We can.
I figured I might be.
Threadneedle Street in London was the sort of centre of prostitution in London in the late Middle Ages and onwards. And Threadneedle Street is the polite name they gave it after they changed it. It used to be a good deal less polite. So much so that it's a word we won't even really use on Garblag.
Yes.
Even nigh.
Yes, I know. I have standards. Shocking.
By the way, is my internet coming through better now?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, I closed
Excellent.
Discord. That always hogs up bandwidth. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's okay. It happens.
Okay, so that's what we've got. That's our situation, our setting, and my camera is playing silly buggers.
Yeah, it's got Vaseline on it again.
It hasn't. I think it's too close to my face. I think that might be the problem. I think if I'm further away from it, it's happier. So, welcome to Spire.
Yes.
The city must fall. Whether you'll be the ones to do it is another question. We will pick up next week with 5 players. I'll talk to the others, or we'll talk to the others back and forth in the interim time with what you guys have come up with, what kind of characters they want to play. And then we'll have a fully functional team. I say functional, a fully dysfunctional team by next week, where we'll run a longer session, and we'll also hopefully have a PDF giveaway from Rowan, Rook and Descartes to share with our lovely viewers. So thank you very much for joining us. It's only a short stream tonight because we were doing a session 0 and character creation, which gives you the opportunity to go and watch WandaVision. Totally not my motivation.
I have to start watching that. I have the
Well, it
account.
finishes today, so you can binge watch it now, and they're only half-hour episodes, so you could just slam through it in 4 hours.
Marvelous. All right.
So, thank you very much for joining us this evening. We are Garblag Games. Please check us out. I'm going to do the spamming in there of Discord, talking and typing.
If you want
That
me
was
to
an
fill
at
space for
Discord.
you.
That was genius, wasn't it? There we go. So join us on Discord right there. You can see previous works from us on YouTube right there, including our last or our one-shot attempt at Spire that we did way back when Strata had just come out. They now have 3 books. They have Spire, Strata, and Heart, and a couple of little books that go around them. And Grant Howitt, who's the sort of brains behind the operation, also does little fantastic one-page RPGs that go out off of Drive Through RPG, many of which are hilariously funny. So they're well worth checking out, worth going and having a look at, and using our affiliate link, which would be nice.
If you really like Spire, the Black Magic pamphlet that came out also introduces the Blood Witch class from Heart into Spire, and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they've got some fantastic little supplements that came with it. And there's a 1-page supplement about goats that they ended up writing when they overfunded. That's quite good. Some of their takes on goats are quite good. There's a whole booklet and pamphlet about masks that people can get and wear, and that's just horrifying. Jason Statham's Big Vacation. Yes, I am going to cockney up a lot more next week, because once you're talking to the people what live in the rougher areas, they're going to be a bit more like that, aren't they? So thank you very much again. That's my third thank you. We've been Gobbler Games. It's been a pleasure and a privilege sharing this gaming evening with your good selves. Have your people call my people. Join us on Twitch next Tuesday. Yes. Tuesday is Masks of Nyarlathotep, which I can both say and spell. Find out how mad I've gone because I was slipping. Poor old Tintin. Wednesday next week.
Not a vampire.
Not a vampire at all. Wednesday next week is Star Wars Ranger Squadron. Battlestar Galactica in the Star Wars universe. Come and check those guys out. They're having a great time. I think they're taking it in terms to fight a giant space worms at the minute. Thursday next week, we're back for more Traveller. The next 2 episodes of Traveller are going to be running concurrently. A bit of a spoiler here. There are 2 Traveller stories happening at the same time, one of which is going to be like a posh, swanky party with all the ambassadors and high society status folk, and one of which is going to be scurrying around doing illegal shenanigans with all the scummy lowlives. So which one's going to be which, we have yet to decide, but come and check both of those out because they're designed to be concurrent episodes.
Were we not going to just have all 8 of us and like have poor Pete be like, okay, I'll get to you. Oh, please stop.
We wouldn't do that to Pete. He's
no.
Or Pete's computer for that matter.
Yeah.
And then next week, we're going to have session 1 with all of our characters getting into Bedlam Hill and starting to do the ministry's good-ish work of amending the area in their favor. Join us then, and before then, thank you very much, and good night.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
And if you haven't backed Descendants of Darkness, it's available on